If you're trying to imitate a genre, you can listen to that genre all you want, and you still might not be able to nail what you're going for. It's good to put yourself in the shoes of the musicians of that genre and try to listen to the music that they might have listened to. Neosoul is easy listening. Maybe it has to do with live session musicians or the strong swing and groove that's incorporated in the rhythms. This video is not meant to be a history lesson. This is more so just to preface my creative train of thought before making this beat. Here's a couple songs I was using for reference before making this track. This track is also out now on whatever platform you choose to listen to. Welcome to the project file that you heard in the intro. I'm about to prepare it up right now to show you and break down how I made the track. Chose 89 BPM because it was fitting to the idea that I was playing on the Rhodes piano, which is what I started out with to even form the idea for this track. I didn't start with drums, I just started with the Rhodes piano, some chords, more so like a vamp. The two effects that I send in return audio are the UAD reverb with a little bit of a EQ filtering it out, and then also the boombox drums effect, which is great for giving drums some punch without taking away from the clean signal. And then also I have the utility effect controlling the stereo width of the drums coming through that effect. I made this track in this Ableton screen here instead of the arrangement view. For whatever reason, it helps me with my workflow. When I think of this track, I like to think of it of having an A section and a B section. The A section was long, drawn out, atmospheric stuff, and the B section was stabby and staccato-y and bouncy. This Rhodes piano part is the looping part that just stays the same the whole song. It's almost like it's imitating a sample chop. Imitation is what I was going to be going for the rest of the track because I didn't want it to sound snapped to a grid and quantized. I didn't do any effects processing right on that Rhodes channel. This is the VST, by the way. It's a complete control library. Scarby Mark 1, Pink Playboy. For the second Rhodes channel, I complemented the original chord progression by outlining the chords. Instead of trying to fill the idea melodically, you can always compose your ideas with the anticipation of making it an atmospheric layer, which is what I did here. And I drowned it in a bunch of effects. On the group, I have a limiter controlling the peaks, and then I have a Galaxy Echo delay by Universal Audio, and that's just giving it a cool saturation. I'm breaking down all the different channels in the order that I made this track in. So the next thing after making those piano chords in that atmospheric layer, I went to adding the drums, which was a stock drum kit from Ableton here that seemed to suit exactly what I was going for. I'm trying to imitate a real kit, but it also has a super sampled hip-hop drum kit kind of sound too. But you hear the rim shot. The sample choices, though, are like acoustic samples. If you look at the MIDI, nothing's really on the grid. Everything was played to feel. I didn't write the drums in, I played them on the keyboard. If you have a MIDI controller of some kind, I advise you use it to help out with humanizing a beat. Some new stuff I've been doing to make my drums punch harder is some parallel compression right on the channel or on the group itself. With an audio effect rack and 2 channels in that audio effect rack, I affect one of the channels with heavy compression to the point where it makes things crunch. And I turn it down ever so slightly and mix it in with that clean signal. Oh, that's what it sounds like. If it was up all the way, it'd sound horrible. But when you blend it in ever so slightly with the original signal, like I was just saying, it makes it kind of magically stand out. I also just got the decapitator, finally. The saturation plugin really helps out with thickening up sounds, but you're going to absolutely want to tread lightly with it. I send my drum group audio to a new audio channel that I've titled DB, or drum group, and I turn the monitor to in, and now I can control the drum volume as a whole and affect the sound even more. And that's when I send it to the boombox drums. And I also have a limiter controlling the peaks. You'll notice I do that with the instruments as well. It's just another point within this project file that I can control the mix. Bass time. I played this bass. This is my Fender P bass. Love this thing. I have the tone knob on the bass turned all the way down so it filtered out all the high end from the bass itself. This is the B section that I was talking about earlier that's staccato-y and bouncy. You can really start to notice it with the bass. That's what drives the sections. The bass always stands out so much in D'Angelo and Prince's music to me. Sly Stone, too. It hits all those magical pockets and sometimes sings a line of its own, which I tried to do at the end of this. The EQ moves are self-explanatory, but I want to highlight the fact that they're not major moves at all. I went right from the bass to the guitar. I popped the clean guitar amp preset on, and I also put a wah pedal on to create and write the idea, which wasn't much. This is just a rhythmic layer that was going to get turned down really low in volume. But for this B section, the second half of this rhythmic layer did have a little bit of a melodic run. I love how buttery this tone is. I was able to shave off some of the high end right with the effects in the presets. This second rhythmic layer was just meant to counter the other rhythm, but in a complementary way. I was really thinking George Benson, The World is a Ghetto cover, that kind of thing. I also used this guitar tone to do the guitar solo because I was really feeling it. I was hanging out with some friends. We were watching football, and I just had the guitar in my lap, and I was creating this track. I think doing something like that helped me be mindless enough to come up with a cool solo. The The solo and everything else that I haven't broken down is a lot easier to explain in the arrangement section, so let's just go over there now. In order to make this track feel alive and be alive, I had to automate the loudness of different things at different times of the track, as if it's a live band interacting musically with each other. I bring this up during the solo section because typically during solos, the rest of the band will get quiet to highlight the soloist, at least for a section of the solo, and then they might start to compliment the soloist. I think a lot of modern music lacks dynamic shifts within the track itself. People probably don't care anymore. We're deep in the loudness wars, but for me, this was a good experiment to mess around with the shift in dynamics from loud to soft to loud again. I was able to automate the volume itself on the solo, riding the fader to sort of match the emotion of the solo itself. Finally, the last instrument layer that I had was an organ that I recorded in another project file. That's a Native Instruments organ. And with this organ, I have a good opportunity to try to trick the listener into thinking it's a real organ even, by using volume swells as if I had the volume pedal on an actual organ myself. The playing itself mimics the same idea that I was talking about earlier with the A section and the B section. For the outro here, I decided to switch things up with the drums for a second. This part was directly imitating Questlove's imitation of J Dilla's drunken hi-hat swing. I don't know how to explain it, but it's more of a feel thing. Basically, most of the notes are completely off the grid, and as long as you have some notes that sometimes hit the grid, like the downbeats, it'll be listenable. You gotta have a kick and snare keeping good time though. They can't be doing their own thing just like the hi-hats are. This is 8 bars of complete hi-hat rhythmic freestyle. Some people might not like that, but that's something that's, it's ear candy for me. And especially if it doesn't go on the whole track, it's just like a 8-bar outro kind of thing, where it feels like the train is going off the rails. Here's a little sustain automation that I have. That's just making the hi-hat sound more choked and then more open during different times. The last little bit about this track that I'm going to talk about is the mastering chain, which I didn't have on during the creation of this process. However, I added it at the end to enhance what I've already put together. I was leaving headroom though the whole time I was making the track. This is an EQ and a compressor. And then I also have a utility plugin that's managing the low-end stereo field. And then lastly, this is just 2 different limiters working together. I think, in my opinion, they glue the track together and they also bring the clarity and loudness up. If you want a stock Ableton mastering chain, I have created one, and I would be more than happy to send it to you if you want to email me. And if you're looking to listen to this full track, you can also listen to it on streaming platforms, Bandcamp, and SoundCloud. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and tune in for the next one. I'm glad to be back.